Namaste,
Namaste,
Techies.
Techies.
Namaste,
Namaste,
Anoop.
Harjit.
Oh man, I love our greeting.
Yeah, it
Uh,
was good today, right?
yeah,
We were on sync.
we were in sync today. Usually I screwed it up all the time.
Oh, we both. One time you, probably the other time me. So yeah,
I think after maybe another 30 episodes, we'll probably get it right.
yeah.
So hey, anyways, we should thank our viewers, our subscribers for being really dedicated and uh, giving us a platform and good feedback for our shows, and also subscribing to our shows, and it's really awesome.
Yeah,
So hopefully we can hit that 1 million, subscriber mark
yeah. Pretty soon
someday.
in a week, right?
Yeah, yeah. And then we can get the YouTube plaque, the one
Yeah,
for 1
yeah,
million.
yeah.
So we'll see. We can dream, though. We can dream.
Yeah.
Hey,
Well,
listen, you're in India. You have a lot of, uh, what do you call it? Not exposure, but resources and opportunities to go to all the different mandirs, gurdwaras, mosque, all these people. Just do prayers, man. Just go do prayers for me.
to get 1 million subscribers.
1 million subscribers. We'll break coconuts. We'll do whatever we need to do.
Oh my
Anyways,
God.
we have to have fun. We have to have fun.
Yeah.
All right, all right. So let's get started. So last episode we talked about blogging and all that stuff, and very
Yeah.
social soft skills. We call it, right? Um, we got some really good feedback about it too on our show, and um, our friend Yagnesh is a really dedicated subscriber, and he was really appreciative of that show, and among other people that had reached out as well. So thank you very much. So today we're gonna focus on exporting things with
Yeah.
Config Manager,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And
Export is pretty big throughout the workflows within configuration manager or SCCM, right? So we
right,
are going to have some fun.
right. Because a lot of people think, once you set things inside a config manager, oh, you're stuck with it. You can't, like copy things out of it and stuff like that. But there is functionality built into a lot of things. I've used it myself, and you recently, you wrote a nice blog about it as well. So yeah, let's do a demo. Let's show it.
Okay, it's demo time. Let me try to pull my screen. Okay, so hopefully you can see my screen.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Cool. So let's go into the collections first. Assets and complaints, and we don't have to say this is configuration manager console. Everybody knows it, right? So so collections. What I'm trying to do on the first bit is, for example, if I have a pre-prod or staging environment and I have created some custom collection in pre-prod or staging, and I want, after my testing, successful testing, I want to move it to the production.
Hmm.
Okay, how are we going to do that? That is the first thing we are going to show here. So I have a collection folder, and inside that you have four collections, as you can see. So I'm going to select all
So
these collections. So I just copied it by Control A, sorry, Control C.
yeah.
Okay. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to open Notepad. Let me a new one. Oh, I have opened a new notepad and I'm going to say click on Control plus V, okay, and see what has happened. So this is one thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have copied a Control C, Control V work. So this is if you want to if you have want to have a list of collections, or what are the collections you have. If you want a quick list, or you want to save it as a CSV file or something, you can use this method, right?
Right. For
Um,
documentation, right? Yeah.
yeah. It is a quick win. There are better ways to do it, but this is a quick win without using any special tool or any
Right.
special things, right? PowerShell or something like that.
Yeah,
There
there
are
is a
ways.
PowerShell script on GitHub for that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of ways, but from my perspective, I am a UI lover, right?
Yeah.
I don't like command prompt and things like
Yeah.
that, right? So everything should be on fingertips. So so that is what I was trying to explain in this. So that was the first thing, right? Now the second thing is what I explained already, right? I want to export this collections from a staging environment to a
Mm-hmm.
production one. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click after selecting all the collections which you want to export. And what I'm going to show you is right click and select export
Yeah.
option. Okay. So this is the export collection export wizard, or export collections wizard.
Mhm.
Okay, and you just need to go through this, and if you want to select all, you can select all, or if you want to select one particular collection, you can do that. Okay, and remember this warning. Okay, if you are having included excluded collections, it won't be exported.
Yeah.
Okay, so you need to make sure that you are not doing that. Then that is a problem, a limitation at the moment. Select all, and or you can select whatever collection you want, right? And click next. And then now what is happening? This is the fun stuff, right? Over here we are going to export all these collection configuration, everything, to a MOF file. uh, I'm not going to explain what is MOF file. Most
Yeah.
of you or all of you might know what is MOF file, right? MOF file is a configuration file which SCCM uses very extensively within their its workflow, I would say. Okay,
Yeah.
so I'm going to say browse, and I'm going to I don't know, probably I will take this example and add Namaste Techies one. Okay, I will say NT Namaste Techies MOF. Okay, and click OK. And if you want to comment something, you can say okay, Namaste Techies demo. Okay, Namaste Techies demo, and click on next. And that's it. You're done. It is
Yeah.
pretty simple. And you don't need to write a PowerShell script for this if you are not a big fan of PowerShell,
Yeah.
right?
And then the reverse is the same. Instead of an export, you do an import, and you import that MOF file that
Exactly.
you generated in your, and it'll create the collection for you.
That's a fun part, right? So you can see the MOF file got
Mhm.
created. If you want to open that up, you can do that. Open with Notepad. Okay, and you can see the MOV file is created, the MOV file location, and then you can see all these WMI thing related things, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going to go in over there with all the details here, but you can see all the evaluation, last refresh time, all
Mhm.
those properties are already kind of um, exported into this particular MOV file. Okay, now what you can do is, basically, if you go to collect device collections and right click again, there is an
Import.
option called import collection. One thing you need to remember, if you have a folder structure and if you want to import the collections into that folder, that is not enabled. Okay, that feature is not there. Okay, there could be some reasons for that. I don't know what is the reason. There could be some
Mhm.
limitations or complications to implement that scenario, but
That's a
the
good
only
tip.
option, yeah, only option is the import collections from here. So I've clicked on import collection, and this is import collection wizard, and it is straightforward. you just need to browse through, and our Namaste Techies MOV file
Right.
I have selected, and click next. It will check whether you have the access or not, right?
Yeah.
So review collection import, name of the collection, and permissions. It will check the permission, and I have the permission, and it imports the commands also,
Yeah.
command also, so that would be helpful in your pre-prod to prod move or scenarios, those kind of scenarios, right? Click next, and just click on next again. That is going to finish the things out. So you can see all these test collections appeared here, and that is kind of getting refreshed now, right?
Yep.
So that is 2 minutes work. Okay, so if you want to move the collections from one
Mhm.
environment to the another environment, so that was the first step in this video. Okay, so that's the
So,
collections.
yeah, so you can do this in the various places, and one of the places that I used export and import was for applications. So I wanted to move like from, let's say like you were saying, from your test to your prod, or even like save it as a backup. I sometimes I created some of these applications over time with some complexities, they had certain scripts or certain like long command lines and things like that, and you don't want like somebody else to mess around with it whatsoever. So I did an export and I saved it in a file share somewhere, or whatever, right? And in fact, you can also, like, for example, when it comes to applications, you can also export them from your prod to use in your lab, so you can go the other way around, because you're like, hey, I've already got these, why recreate them in my lab? Export, import, it'll create the applications with the detection methods and everything like that. So I use that a lot. But when you
Yeah,
export applications, it creates some folders, some folder
yeah,
structures for each application and stuff. So,
yeah.
and yeah.
Yeah, app group, it is going to be a zip file, right? So same method, right click and export, choose the export option, and then you can save it as a
Yep,
zip file. It is not a MOV file in this scenario,
it's a zip file.
Harjit mentioned. So
But you
let's
see, wait,
these
go
are
back.
two options. Yeah, these are the two important options you need to remember, right?
Yeah, so but right there in those check boxes, will tell you, export, application dependencies, supersedence, and so anything that you had configured, it'll bring them over. So that is very useful. If you just want plain old like just the application and nothing else, then unselect those. But why would you
Mm.
do that, right? Um, yeah.
Yeah. So this is the same process. So that is why
Mhm.
we mentioned at the start of the video. Okay, I couldn't part of this part. Okay, yeah, maybe this is happening because of my mistake. Okay,
Yeah.
that there's no nothing wrong with SCCM.
No, no,
It is this particular MSI. I have removed it from the source. Right. That
exactly.
is why that is why it is coming. So don't worry
Yeah.
about this. But it works perfectly fine. Okay.
Yes.
um, so that was export. So that is why we were talking about lot of export options, lot of copy
Yes.
options are available. So again, if I select, I have selected 4 applications here. I'm just clicking on Control+C from my keyboard, which I cannot show it to you now. Right. And I'm opening a notepad and showing to you how this is
Exactly.
going to get copied, right? If you want a list of applications, you can do it. And another tip over here, if you want to get more information about this application, right click on the column and select all these columns, right?
Yeah, the filters. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, then it will come, all those will appear in your uh, notepad or the text file where you want to
CSV or
copy it,
something like
right?
that.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
So that's about applications now.
There's
uh
so many others. I mean, you can do for,
yeah,
like you said, yeah, global conditions.
global conditions is another thing. We can do the same thing, right? Select all won't work, right? If I ah in this case, select all worked. That's interesting. Nice.
Oh, okay.
So, select all works. It
That-
worked. It worked. I don't know.
So, but you
It,
can do
it,
it as well for, configuration items, configuration baselines. I've done
Yep.
many of those as well. Um, export, save it, import, things like that. So just poke around
Yeah.
and see where the functionality for export is.
So this thing, when I press on Control A, it works if you click your mouse on this side, right side of the pane, right? If
Ah,
if it is on the left side of the pane, it is not going to work. Okay,
I
so
see.
that's a
I see.
trick. Yeah. If
Okay.
you just selected this configuration baseline, and if you press Control A, that is not going to work. Right.
Yeah.
So that was the trick. Okay, that was good learning.
Yeah. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's pretty much it for export and import.
Hmm.
Short and sweet. But
Exactly, and you can do it for I don't know, queries, reports if you want, right? All those things you can do. Right? For example, if you want to select all the reports, you can see reports. Reports is ready for you now. So all the reports, list of reports, default reports or custom
mhm,
reports you have in your SCCM, you can see it from here. That's
yeah.
good.
So with documentation purposes,
Yeah.
you want to keep track of what you have or what has changed and stuff like that. You can do a verification if you put them in like in a CSV file or something. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's good stuff. So, all right. Is there anything
Okay.
else?
No, I think that's it
Yeah.
for today. It was a quick one. Probably it was
Yeah.
helpful. Yeah.
Short and sweet. Just a
Yeah.
quick tip. Export functionality, I think, is not used very often by a lot of people, or probably they don't know that it's there and why. But yeah, it's very useful, especially like in my case for applications and configuration items and stuff that I wanted to save, and then use it somewhere else. I was able to do that without recreating everything all over
Yeah.
again. So good stuff. Yeah, thanks
Good,
for the
good.
demo. Awesome.
Good,
And we
good.
figured out the Control A thing, which actually works.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. That was good learning. Yeah.
yeah. All
Live
right.
learnings. Yeah.
So that's it for today. And until next time, you know where to find us. And
And don't forget to share, subscribe, like, or do whatever you want with that video, right? Or with
yes,
this video.
yes, and comment and give us feedback.
Yeah.
Thank you very much. And
Thank you.
namaste.
Namaste.